Hey there, you guys. Before I go out for my nature walk today and some localized hiking, I wanted to come and talk to you about a very interesting subject evolving around numbers and vibrations. I was going through, as I mentioned in my previous video, through some of my past automatic writings and notes, and I saw one that I wrote about numbers like last year. And it was in Slovene. It was in my own language, so I had to transcribe this and translate it in English today, but I wanted to share it with you because this is so important, because most people did write to me, say, I keep seeing these numbers or those numbers, I feel this is this or that, and I just wanted to share my own view and intake on this. And I'm going to read you this text that I wrote, and I'm going to discuss some of it also. Please, again, forgive me for the language because I did not even go through it. I just transcribed, and you cannot literally translate languages into one another. I'm not a translator, so I'll try to just explain more as I talk, about this. So the writing is about numbers and vibration, and the question is, what kind of meaning do the numbers we keep seeing hold for us? Do they have a particular message, and does our awareness bring them to our attention? So here's the writing. It is not just that the mind invites certain numbers, meaning cosmic resonances, this is what numbers are, but our state of awareness in which we vibrate triggers this. All the numbers are sort of like cosmic generators, which carry their own personal meaning according to their frequency. As a consequence, they engrave this meaning inside us and trigger codes which are already inside of us. It is not about the fact that the numbers are something that is outside of us. Our consciousness calls in particular vibrations of these numbers, and at the same time, these numbers call in the vibration of our consciousness. We can call this both-way resonance. Because we are multidimensional in nature, it's not even about both-way resonance in two directions, because this is still linear thinking. It is actually about cosmic oscillation from all the multiverses. This is the accumulation of all the multiverses into one, which we here call the now. And even this is just a 3D reference. This accumulation of all the numbers, all the necessary vibrations, calls forth for all the important resonances in this reality which we individually perceive as our lives. They're gathered in one anchored point called the now, and they're anchoring their meaning there and serving their purpose. Each number, therefore, has its own unique resonance, its own individual meaning, because it is its own generator, although in truth, all is one when we look at it from a wider and higher perspective within the law of one. In this oneness of the moment now, everything that is needed for us here and now is merging together in unison, and then it generates its meaning. This cosmic oscillation later materializes in its practical meaning in the physical reality. So therefore, what we need is being manifested from the realms of the spirit, where numbers are playing an important role within the sacred geometry of creation. So every number carries its own meaning and dimension on its own of being, from its own space and time into this time and space here and now. So yes, every number has a specific meaning, which people later interpret on their own or with the assistance of external resources. But the grander meaning lies in how these vibrations are implemented in our lives by us and how powerfully we're being activated through their essence. Okay, guys, this is what I wrote about the numbers. I made a video already. It was last year. It was about the messages that we receive, all sorts of ways that come through us. It's not just that, they're external messages for us, but it's interlocked. It's like a synchronization between us and another part of the consciousness within the sacred geometry that forms all creation. And we, as living beings in this life reality we are forming and existing within, are co-creating within all of these creations, other life forms and aspects that are within that sacred geometry that forms this creation are being flown through us and, co-creating this reality. So the thing is that messages don't just come from numbers, but numbers are part of the, as I said, the language of God, so to say. This is the language of creation. This is the ways, the principles of creation. It is not, when you think of source, it doesn't create through, you know, like we see visions and images and things like that. It creates through this geometry principles. And numbers are a part of this that is more practical for us to see also in the physical. So the meaning that some interpret here in the physical is not always so physical as we imagine it. It's about the frequency. You know, every single thing is about the frequency. For instance, I was doing an automatic writing last year as well about the butterflies that came in very early last year. Well, this year as well, but last year I think they were even earlier. There were these beautiful yellow butterflies, and I asked myself, I said, what is the message that they carry? And the answer that I received, that everything is encoded, you know, within how they fly, how they formate, you know, the dust they have on their wings, the codes of colors that they radiate outwards, that they pulsate into the creation field. And there's so much we don't hear and understand as humans. These are the principles of creation that are being revealed to me because I'm a nature being, and this is a part of my purpose. This is the consciousness that I'm holding in. These secrets of the creation are being revealed to me when I ask. You know, I don't often ask. I forget sometimes that I can ask. And if it is for my highest good and the highest good of all, because everything that I receive will be aligned with the grander collective consciousness, I will receive that answer then. And when I'm guided to also share it, you know, not always at the same time, like I did now, you know, sharing something that came forth through me last year. But also, you know, I wanted to say a few words about other messages. I made a video about this, but as I said, I enlisted all of my older videos with the poor sound quality. It was about messages that we can see everywhere, not just in numbers. You know, frequency is shared everywhere, and you can see messages in clouds. You know, I often see angelic formations, and, you know, just sometimes I see letters formed in clouds. I cannot read it, but I know that, you know, there's something that's being shared there through that message, through those words. And I asked someone, I said, hey, what do you think? You know, I think that's something that I'm imagining, but because I see this like inscription, like a writing, but I can read it. And he said, well, yeah, maybe it just wants to give you a message that it's there, but maybe you're not supposed to read it yet. And I'm like, yeah, maybe one day I will, you know. That's the day I'll come here and make a video about it right away. Say, I was able to read the clouds for the first time, you know. It's like, one time I remember I was looking, you know, I think it was in Bosnia last year when I was visiting the pyramids. I was looking at the sky, and it literally said, I am you. And that's the only time, you know, that I could read it, but it was like a very short message, and I could see, like, what do you mean I am you, you know? But it was so simple and yet so profound, so deep, you know, such deep, simple truth, you know. Truth is often, usually, you know, found in the most simplistic things. Because the most simple sentence, you know, you can have various people who will understand it differently according to their own personal meaning and truth as to where they stand within the consciousness of all. And this is so interesting, you know, how we are unraveling this spirit realm, you know, that is being presented to all of us through our own unique individuality and how we perceive signs. You know, everyone has this different attributes to how they do it. For instance, I see what people post on Facebook. I have a friend who posts wonderful pictures, you know, just these life formations being formed and presented to her as she's taking photographs in nature. And some people see orbs, some people will see, I don't know, shadows, sparks, you know, so many things, because spirit, the divinity that is within all things in creation will, you know, make itself known to us, and it is making itself known through us. We are all channels, and we're each perceiving these signs and vibrations differently. But how would they affect our lives? I just described and explained more in detail in my writing. I hope you like that writing. And remember, you know, as I read last week in Kara's Ascension Notes, these are wonderful Ascension Notes. If you don't yet read them, go check them out on the Solstice Rising webpage. It's very interesting, the truth that I often very resonate with. She said that in the past, you know, in the old paradigm, how we were presented with signs was usually like, you know, there were signs and then we followed a bit. You know, now in the new, we need to make the first step and then we get the signs of confirmation. And I was writing about this last year. I always said, first, you do something, then, you know, this is how the divine guidance within the highest light works. And then you get a confirmation that you're on the right path. You will get all the confirmation and all the support from all the beings of light and your I am presence, your individualized God source self as well, especially making itself known through you, through the simple things in your life. When you're aware, you become, more observant, and you just know and you feel through feeling, So yes, this is the way of the new, because like she said, we're now being asked to just step into our power. If you constantly wait for external signs to come first, for instance, so many people ask themselves, who's my twin flame? And then you want the cards, oracle cards to show you. And I used to be like that too sometimes. And you wanted other people to give you signs and clues, and then you'll be, listening to your heart. But now it's different. Now you just feel that everything is within you already, and your heart knows. And then all these external signs come. And these numbers that come, in our lives, because most people that write to me, they all have sets of numbers that they keep seeing. And they ask me, what's this number? What does it mean for me? I cannot know for them. There are certain generalized meanings, but you also have an individualized meaning. And I was speaking about this in the last video, about the number sequences that I made, that I deleted then. Because like dreams, our soul will speak to us in an individualized way, and the way only you will recognize. It's the same with numbers, For instance, I have a number that keeps haunting me, as I like to say when I make jokes about it. It's there, it's everywhere. It's in every hour that I see, every receipt that I, sometimes I pay for, the license plates. It's like everywhere, when you look at the comments or likes on Facebook, there's always that number there. It's everywhere. I'm like, I live in a twilight zone of that number. And it is a meaning, and I keep delving deeper into that meaning, because the more you will vibrate at that rate, that number is, sharing its message of that vibration with you, it's exchanging it with you, the more deeper you will understand the meaning, because to everything there are layers of meaning within it. So the more you will awaken to that layer, to the deeper and deeper layers of that, the more meaning you will find in that. And not that it will change, but it will deepen. So I hope you have wonderful ways of exploring your inner realms and the realms of spirit, which are eternal and are always there for us to see if we keep our eyes focused and our heart open. This is the theme, this is the guideline, this is the exit point that I will now finish with. Anyway, talk to you soon, guys. Have a beautiful week. Take care. Bye.